Welcome to the Reinvented Life with Pamela Chanel David. Do you want to step up your game? Pursue your dreams. Be the best version of yourself. The Reinvented Life is here to help. The Reinvented Life is about courage. It's about staying relevant. It takes grit. It defies gravity. It's about taking inventory of where you are today and where you want to go. Embrace change. Make things possible and reinvent your life. Call in with questions at 888-994-4995. Now, it's time to reinvent your life with Pamela Chanel.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. The day after Mother's Day, here we are on May 11th, and I just want to wish all of the moms from this weekend a very happy Mother's Day and welcome you to the Reinvented Life. You know, specifically as a parent myself, I know how many iterations of life we go through, and just cannot wait to bring today's guests on. The Reinvented Life show is all about transformation. It's all about keeping your life relevant. And today's guest is all about that. I'm going to introduce you here in a moment to Wendy Farrell. Now, I have to tell you an interesting story. Wendy and I actually go back a long ways in life together. We met in college. Both have had a wonderful career in life, raised children. We each have three wonderful grown children now, and are truly in the process of reinventing ourselves. My reinvention started with a reinvention of health and wellness, and that's what you're going to hear about today. So for our viewers and for our listeners, get ready to hear a show about health, a show about wellness, and a show about reinventing yourself. I introduce you here to Wendy Farrell. She comes to us today from a cabin that she is in Durango, Colorado. So welcome, Wendy, to the Reinvented Life.
Hello, my friend. It's good to see you.
It's great to see you. It's great to share this platform with you. I see front and forward there what you are now up to in life, which is making it healthy. And you know, the irony is most of the people know my story. I didn't start out my life in making it healthy. Wendy always has. It's been a priority for her throughout her life. So I'm going to start with this, Wendy. Introduce yourself. Tell our listeners and our viewers just a little about you, you know, where you've been and how you've come to this wonderful place right now.
All right, then I'll try to put it in a nutshell. It's a long, convoluted story, but back in the day when we met at UC Santa Barbara, I was majoring in health and wellness, physical education. It's always been a passion of mine, physical fitness, healthy eating, mind management. And I followed that by going to Colorado State. I got my master's degree in exercise science, corporate health and wellness. And I always wanted to run a corporate wellness program. But back in the 80s when I got my degree, nobody was really talking about wellness, and they weren't hiring people to run their corporate wellness programs. So I ventured into the culinary world and married a chef and ran a catering business and opened up a restaurant, movie theater, and really focused on food and catering and the culinary world. So about 6-7 years ago, we closed our culinary businesses, and I finally followed in my mother's footsteps and became a trainer, a corporate trainer, mostly focused on management training, leadership and employee development. I love to teach skills to people. That's why I call my company Skill Shop. You learn skills in a workshop. And around that time, I started teaching healthy cooking classes for some corporate wellness programs as well, and started compiling these recipes into this book. And just about the same time your book came out last year, November, what a weird coincidence that was, I published it as well on Amazon, and it was so wonderful to have us both navigate that at the same time. And now I teach healthy cooking classes. I'm doing management and leadership training, and it's all virtual now online. And I teach the classes right from my kitchen, and I teach the leadership training right from my office at home. So for the foreseeable future, that's how I'll be teaching skills to my participants.
Wow, thank you for that. So you, as I've known you to be, are always very fluid. You know, you have such a unique background and such a passion for health and wellness. I've learned so much from you on my own health and wellness journey. I love, you know, the book, the fact that we've launched books at the same time. Really, what I want the viewers and the listeners to understand is you can do it. You know, you can take passions of yours and really turn them into viable businesses today. And that's what this show is really all about. I mean, such an amazing corporate career you've had, such an amazing focus on health and wellness. I know exercise physiology. And what you've done is actually you've taken the relevant parts of that and brought it all together. And so now, you know, I love seeing the video footage of your virtual cooking classes. You know, it's fun. It's fun to watch people, then they're engaging in their own kitchens. And so for people that are watching, what I want you to understand is Wendy's an awesome example of someone that's taken their passion and they've turned it into a business. And that's really at the Reinvented Life and life in general, I would say right now. You know, that core word of invent I always talk about is about creativity, right? So it's about being creative and bringing what you have, the gifts you have, the talents you have. The recipes for everyone, by the way, are amazing in there and in her cookbook. And tell the viewers a little bit about your classes. I know you've developed classes now online virtually for all sorts of events people could make of them, online events with the family. Share with us a little about the variety of all of the classes that you have.
Sure. I've got classes for everybody. So I'm doing kids camps. I'm doing family classes. I've got date night classes. And a community kitchen where we do some plant-based types of recipes as well. My cookbook has some for everybody. If you're a meat eater, gluten-free, vegan, vegetarian, dairy-free, there's something for everybody in here. I personally am a low-carb, low-sugar type eater. It's not a diet book. It is really helping you figure out what healthy eating means to you, because it means different things to everybody. So I help you figure that out and then give you lots of recipes that'll work for you once you figure out what your healthy eating style is. So I send the recipes and shopping list out ahead of time. So once you sign up for a class, you get the recipes and the Zoom ID and the shopping list. So you go out and procure all of the ingredients yourself. I always encourage you to bring along family members and the people in your house that don't normally cook, because I love to encourage and coach people and help them build the confidence that they might not have. I think a lot of people don't cook because they don't know how, and they're afraid of doing it wrong or making it look bad, or someone else in the house is the main cook and they'll never live up to that. I was married to a chef, so I know how that feels. I really do like to encourage people. The classes are about 2 hours long. They go about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on how many questions I get. So people can unmute, ask me questions along the way, and then I leave time at the end for every kind of cooking question you could possibly have, or healthy eating question. And I think people leave very encouraged and educated and feeling like they can reinvent themselves in their kitchen on their own. And I have many people coming back for more and more classes. And several have hired me to do private groups, which is really fun. I've done a few social families, and I did a sorority get together. And I've done actually several corporate events as a team building. So with everyone home, many employees working at home, this has turned out to be a fun team building event. It's all health and wellness based. Many insurance companies actually pay wellness dollars to their clients for classes such as mine. So if your insurance company does that, my classes could actually be free to your business. And I've had several take advantage of that already. And right now, wellness and building your immune system and staying healthy is one of the best ways we can fight COVID-19, is really doing all the things we can do to keep ourselves healthy and our immune system strong.
That's awesome. And they sound fun, like a sorority, or I'd imagine, people are looking to replace things they were normally doing that they're not able to do right now. I know bridal showers, as an example, come to mind. A few friends getting married right now. And so they're thinking about creative ways to do things. Birthday parties sound like they would be a fun way. Just having everyone online. And do you take them through the actual preparing of the ingredients itself, like from beginning to end on making a dish?
I do. I tell people there's no need to prep anything because we're going to prep together. So I'm teaching
Okay.
chopping skills, how to break down an onion and chop it appropriately, best way to break down a bell pepper. And so you're going through every step. A lot of the food shows that we watch on television, they have everything ready. They have little dishes of grated ginger and little dishes of grated garlic and ready to go, and they just pop it in the recipe, and you didn't see how they did that. So people are missing a lot of those elements, and they don't feel like they know how to do everything. And it's fun to watch and listen and learn, but the experiential part of cooking in your own kitchen, getting even more familiar with it, and learning through experience, I think really builds the learning process much more so than just watching and listening. So I think people are really learning awesome cooking skills and healthy eating skills from them.
That's awesome. And as you mentioned, it's all variety of types of eating. So everything from, if you're plant-based, whatever type of protocol, if you will, of what you're using in your own cooking, it sounds like you can do with your cookbook. I mean, I know I've been through it. I love it.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for that, for sure. Yeah, it's not a diet book. I'm not a proponent of any diet in particular. And no one should really be saying, hey, this worked for me, this would work for you. It may work and you could suggest it, but everyone really needs to figure out what healthy eating means. It depends on your allergies, your intolerances, your health, your weight goals. Some people want to gain weight. I don't understand it, but some people want to gain weight. My sons do. I'm the opposite. So I've learned the different things that help me lose weight and then maintain that weight. And so much of it can be affected by what you eat and what you don't eat, and preventing inflammation. So many things we eat contribute to inflammation, which is the underlying cause of many of the diseases we're all suffering from. So your food is one of the best ways to get and stay healthy.
Wow. What I love about it is, again, it's so relevant today. You can be anywhere. Right now, you're actually taking a cabin, and you can do cooking from there. You've taken a business that I know you've spent years and years traveling to locations, whether it be through your in-person learning labs or the corporate work you've done or the cooking classes you've done. They've all been live, right? And so you've been able to, during all of this, take it all virtual. And I think that's what I want people to understand, is that whatever talent you have, whatever passions you have, you could be taking them online. There you are, in a kitchen. Literally, we can do this on our phones, on our laptops, anywhere that we end up to be today. The key is, and I'd love you to touch on that, much of your work, I know you do, is about connecting with people. I know that is such an important part of the corporate work you do, certainly now in the healthy eating arena. Share how you can connect in a world that for some still feels disconnected.
Yeah, that's an excellent question, because at first I struggled with that all of my teaching is in person. I can make eye contact with people. I can see people laugh when I tell a joke, and I can tell if I'm funny or not. So without that connection, because a lot of the classes, many don't turn on their video, and I can't necessarily see them. There you can see a picture of a few people with their video on. So with my trainings, especially the leadership and management trainings that are 2 and 3 days long, I use the chat box quite a bit. And then I leave plenty of time to say, okay, who has questions? Go ahead and unmute and ask your question. I'll also pose questions and then tell people to answer in the chat box or unmute. So I use a lot of the features that these video conference platforms have to stay engaged with them. It's weird just kind of talking straight to my computer if I can't see everybody. So I do like it when people turn on their videos and I can see their faces. But using those different tools that each of these have to stay engaged and keep engaged, it is a challenge for sure. But I'm just kind of myself and authentic, and I leave plenty of time. I'm not trying to rush through. They're not half-hour classes. That's why I leave plenty of time so everyone can feel like they can talk to the instructor and get every question they have answered and really feel like it was worth their time. They got a lot of value from it and a lot of learning from it.
I love it. And what strikes me about it is the positive part of all of this is you're able to reach a much broader audience now. You know, you do not have the local limitations of where you are or where you've traveled to. You can literally reach people around the world. And that's what I love, you know, during this whole process, watching people reach new heights, watching people flourishing. So how has that been for you? Just knowing that, you know, as you mentioned, we engage in this process almost at the same time. We're releasing books in November. I know you've done a tremendous amount of public speaking. You're out there in the world, and yet now you're out there in the world in a much bigger way. How's that feel for you? You know, I think people would love to know that.
Well, I'll be honest here and authentic. I always try to be. I call myself the queen of reinvention. I've had to reinvent in my life multiple times, from young to current. And I'm getting good at it. Sometimes it frustrates me. Sometimes I just like to do one thing and continue doing it and not necessarily have to. But necessity is the mother of reinvention. And so sometimes it frustrated me that I had just gotten this great career in these cooking classes and my in-person stuff. I travel all over California up to see you quite a bit. And that all stopped, just completely stopped. And I thought to myself, it's very frightening, but I thought, okay, what skills have you got that you can use in this new world? I did not see this ending anytime soon. When it started, I thought this will probably be the wave of the future for a while. And realized I've already had experience teaching virtual classes. Some of the work I did last year in the corporate world was virtual. So I was comfortable with that. And then I decided to increase those learning curves, and I learned mastered Zoom, WebEx, GoToTraining, Microsoft Teams. So whatever platform anyone's using, I'm pretty comfortable with. They're all similar in ways, do the same things, just have to figure it out. And what am I passionate about? I am passionate about teaching and educating. And I love to encourage and build confidence. So cooking from now my own kitchen, which is so much easier than schlepping it all over town. I never forget anything because everything's right there and I have it all accessible. And you're right, I can reach so many more people. Most of my in-person classes were anywhere from 20 people to 30 people, which was actually a pretty big class. But now I had 50 on a class the other day, and it can grow. My niece is in Paris, France, and she joined one of the classes. She had to get up really early, but she joined one of the classes as well. That certainly wouldn't have been possible in a live training. So it really does extend my reach dramatically. So I'm kind of grateful for having to reinvent, even though I wasn't so happy about it at first. it has all turned out really great.
Yeah, and I love how candid you are. I mean, that's what this show is really all about. I want to have candid conversations with people. I want people to get really real with what they may be afraid of, what they can put in place to kind of help move that, and then let them see something like yourself, which is a whole new outcome. So, how do people find your book? Where do they go to find these classes online?
Best place is my website. It's skillshoptraining.com. There's a page there for the virtual classes. There's a page there on Make It Healthy, the cookbook. The cookbook is available on Amazon. It's $20 for the hard copy. It's $10 for the Kindle version. If you have Kindle Unlimited, it's free. So go ahead and download it. And go ahead and go through every page because I get paid per how many first times everyone reads a page. That's how Kindle Unlimited works. I learned all of that too. I learned how to publish a book. Learning curves are exciting to me. They're daunting, but I like learning. I always have. So this time has been challenging, but filled with learning curves that many I've mastered. Some I'm still working on for sure.
So they can get it on Amazon. They can get it at Skills Shop
Skillshop Training.
Training.com.
Skillshoptraining.com is the website that has all the information, and we'll have a link to Amazon where you can catch the book.
Perfect. You know, you bring up something I think so important in all of my work I do with the Reinvented Life clients and the mastermind groups, and certainly these shows and all. The question always comes up about getting ready to get ready. You know, I know a lot of people are used to this paradigm of I got to learn everything and I got to get really proficient in it before I start something. And what I love what you're saying is sometimes even if you don't know it all or you have some fear about it, which is really real, or you're scared about it, you just go for it. And I think more people get excited about the knowing of that. You know, you can go into things sometimes scared, or you can go into sometimes things fearful, and yet you kind of learn it as it goes. And to me, that's really indicative of life today, you know, especially the life of an entrepreneur or someone that maybe has a more traditional corporate career, but they have something they want to build. I know a friend of mine, I've been watching her week after week since it started, increase the music lessons that she's giving online. I mean, you wouldn't think that something like playing the piano or playing the flute could be taught online. And I know there has been instances of it before, but what I'm seeing is it just all comes to the forefront. And it makes it great for parents, as an example, because they can take their kids to music lessons by turning on their computer and getting the interactive training. So it's really amazing. And when you're teaching and when you're cooking and when you're doing all that you do, I'm sure you have a lot of people that come up a little scared or afraid. You know, it's just real. How do you handle that? What do you do with that? How do you make them feel comfortable?
Oh, well, I do have a knack for that in making just people feel comfortable with the questions that they ask. I encourage questions. Many teachers don't necessarily encourage questions. But my brother was a prime example. He's 55 years old and doesn't really know how to cook. His wife, Darcy, does all the cooking. So he's just a bit intimidated in the kitchen. Yeah. So they came on. I practiced quite a bit through my learning curve. I had family and friends come on and practice with me and get the lighting right and figure all those things out as I went. And so Stuart, my brother, was taking the lead in the cooking class, and Darcy was there giving him suggestions, and they actually almost started fighting. So I just kind of said, hey, let's make sure, he's listening to me, the teacher, and focused on this, and Darcy just be a sous chef or a prep cook today, and really started to build Stuart's confidence. And he made the entire meal, and it looked beautiful, and he plated it up, took pictures of it, and I could see the pride. And it was because he did it himself. He wasn't just helping Darcy. So it's building that courage, building the confidence is what I really like to do. And it just happens by encouraging people and saying, hey, nice job, you did that on your own, it's beautiful. And making people feel that pride, and that encourages them and makes them feel more enthusiastic and less tentative.
It's so true. I mean, every time I talk to people about life today, they're coming forward more, and that's the beauty. If there is a silver lining, if you will, in what we're going through, is people are getting more comfortable with being more expressive. People are getting more comfortable to, knowing that they can do things in new ways. At the Reinvented Life, we always talk about embracing change, and change is difficult, especially long-term sustainable change. But when you can do things in small steps, when you can, who would have thought we would never even have had the conversation a year ago about building confidence through this creation, whether it be a healthy meal, whether it be someone painting or enjoying a musical instrument or whatever it may be. So there is a lot of good things that are happening. And I think the expression of people is a big part of it. I know we're going to be winding down here momentarily, but if you could give one tip, because you are such a master of reinvention, and you are such a master of just being relevant to whatever life is for you, what would that tip be? Do you have one or two things that our viewers and listeners would love?
I think it's important for everyone to realize that change happens, and people react differently to change. Some people embrace change. I'm a change embracer. I love different stuff every week. Many people do not embrace change. So just the fact that things are changing so dramatically increases their stress. And I think as coaches and people that are encouraging and educating, we need to be patient with other people's reactions to change so that they can be calmer and get more excited about it. And the fear that you feel when things are changing, think of it as a good fear, as something that's strengthening you, that's something that's building you. It feels scary because that anxiety is the same, whether it's a bad thing or a good thing. You still kind of feel like I got really nervous the other day when I knew I had 50 people on my cooking class. I felt the anxiety come in, but I made my brain think of it as exciting anxiety and push through that anxiousness to kind of come out the other side. And the more you do, the more comfortable you feel. And I've learned that over the years, that the more I do something, the more comfortable I get at it, and then the more fun it becomes. So you got to kind of push through those beginnings of what do I do and how do I do it, and just chug along until you start to feel more and more comfortable.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. So people can find your book on Amazon, Make It Healthy. They can go to skillshopstraining.com, skillshoptraining.com. They can find out about classes. I know you do things from the 50-person class for the birthday party, for the individual. I love what you were saying about, listen, insurance companies, corporations, they want employees. They want all of their affiliates to be more healthy. So I love that. Again, it's just thinking about things in a new way. And what a better time when people have more time. Just say someone commutes an hour each way to work. That's 2 hours that they now have added to their day, that they could do something fun, productive, have a dinner created. Lots of great things. So I know that you're just doing such great things out there in the world. We've known each other so long, and it's just wonderful to just be on this journey. I also want to share that if anyone is interested, they can go to thereinventedlife.com. We will have this episode as well as other episodes of how people can really reinvent their life. You can purchase the book on Amazon. We're mobile, and that's the way the world's going today. So you can go to reinvent.mobipop.info, find out about the Reinvented Life. We're accessible. We're here to help people put whatever plans that they want in place. And thank you for taking your time from your week there in that beautiful, beautiful place in Durango, Colorado. And again, just making the most of this time, and bringing to the world the joy and what I know you're passionate about. Can't thank you enough for being on here, and just making the world more healthy, and bringing that to people's awareness. So
Thanks, Pam. This has been awesome.
Oh, it's my
Appreciate
pleasure.
your time. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you to our viewers. Thank you to our listeners. The reinventedlife.com. That's what we're up to. We are up to just making change in people's lives more relevant, taking what you've done, taking what you're passionate about, and just figuring out how it is you want to go forward in your life, and how you want to bring forward to the world what you love, what you want to learn, what you're passionate about. So thanks for joining the Reinvented Life. We are here every Mondays at 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific, and we're just thrilled to have you here. Again, happy Mother's Day, happy now spring to all, and we will meet and talk to you soon. Get in touch with us.
Thank you for tuning in to The Reinvented Life with Pamela Chanel David. Tune in each week so we can work and grow together to become the best version of ourselves. Keep striving, keep dreaming, keep working, and embrace change. You may contact Pamela Chanel at info@thereinventedlife.com.